Hello again, welcome back everybody to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and today, if you missed the thumbnail or the title of this, uh, this is going to be a part two. So, a couple days ago, we put out a video called the ugly truths about SHTF. This one's going to be a part two where we're going to talk about basically honesty, being honest with yourself. This one is going to be another one of those laid back, and we're just going to kind of chit chat. So, fair warning. One is going to be this is going to be the style of this video. If you don't like it, no hard feelings. There's plenty of other videos on YouTube, but that last video was pretty popular, and I got a lot of uh, very positive feedback on that. There's a lot of people that it was kind of a cold water to the face, and it was a bit of a reality, kind of a wake up call. A lot of people said that that was difficult truths that needed to be said. That other people weren't talking about it. They were grateful that it got mentioned and things like that. Um, and so I want to continue on with that. I don't know if this is going to end up becoming like maybe a little bit of a mini series, maybe like a once a week. We sit down and discuss the hard truths that apparently nobody wants to talk about. We'll see where this goes. As of right now, this is going to be part two. And fair warning, I try my best to keep everything family friendly. And I do that, one, is because there's a lot of you that listen to this at work or around family, and I want to be respectful that, one, I can get my point across without being vulgar or anything along those lines. And so that's just the direction that I chose to go in. And then, two, it's just kind of who I am in that sense. I try and keep it as professional as I can, but I'm also not hiding the fact that I am a grown adult man, and I can be off color and use colorful language. But I also know that it has its sense and its place. But enough of that. We're 3 minutes into this, and I barely got started. So if you are still here, there's your warnings. Sit back, relax, grab you something to drink, because we're going to go over on how to be ready and stay ready. Smoke them if you got them, and let's get into this video. All right, so we're going to talk about being honest with yourself. And basically, that's going to be things like don't get led into a false sense of security. It's very easy, especially the way that everything's becoming mainstream. There's a ton of people that's getting into preparedness. There's a ton of people that wants to become homesteaders all of a sudden. They see the post all over social media. They see it on TV. They see it here, there, and everywhere else. Their friends are talking about it. They just want to bandwagon right into it. That's dangerous. You've got to make sure that if you are a new person that's going to come into this, you want to become a survivalist, a bushcrafter, you want to become a prepper or a homesteader or anything like that, I support you, okay, if you're doing it for the right reasons. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you're going to fail miserably. This is not a thing that you can jump into and LARP your way through and be successful. This is not a thing that you can buy your way through. All of these that I mentioned, these are lifestyles. This is a commitment. This is something that you're going to get into, and you're going to do it pretty much for the rest of your life. Okay. This isn't a thing to where it's you went out and you just off the whim bought a puppy dog because it was cute. You kept it for 6 months, realized that this thing's chewing up everything, peeing all over the floor, and it's just a nuisance. So you do whatever you got to do to dump it and move on with your life. Um, there's a lot of things, especially homesteading. It'll make or break you. You have to be almost a special type of person to be able to handle homesteading. When you truly homestead, Everything depends on you. Everything. And depending on how far you go, you really want to go as close to off grid as you can, to where you get up in the morning and you just don't feel like it. Those animals have to eat. Things have to be done. If you don't move your solar panels or hook this up or do this thing here, you don't eat. You don't have power. There's a lot that goes into it. You don't get days off. You wake up and your throat's itchy and you're running a slight fever and you're kind of achy and whatnot. And you're, no, sorry, get up, pull your boots up, uh, throw on a coat, and those animals have to be taken care of. They depend on you. And if you want breakfast, you need to get to work. And that's what a lot of these people don't understand. They see the flash, they see the Hollywood style. And so they want to do it because it's cool. All their friends are doing it. People that they follow are doing it. And it's just not true. So I don't want to dissuade you, okay? Don't make it to where I'm trying to talk you out of it, because it's one of those ones that if you can make that commitment, if you are one of those strong people that can do this, one, it's very rewarding on multiple fronts. One, you're going to be able to survive, as you go through and you get your gear and your skills and you start really learning and picking up a lot of knowledge. Two, you make really great friends and you meet a lot of great people. Networking in this community is a blast to do, to be able to meet people from all walks of life, all over, the state, the country, the world, and see how people do different things all over the place, and the way that the way you learn that they do something, and then if you modify it a little bit, it works on your end too. There's a bunch of things that I've seen people do overseas. I'm like, wait a second, I've never seen anybody try that. I want to try it. Sometimes you fail, and it's okay to fail. It's completely fine to fail. A lot of this is trial and error, because you can watch somebody that has 1 million followers do something as he stares right in the screen and says, you have to do it exactly like this. And you try and try and try, and you fail and you fail and you fail. But then you go, wait a second. If I just do it this way, and skip that step and do it, this other thing, it works. Great. That's what you need to do. You need to find out what works for you in your situation within your budget that meets your needs. Forget everybody else. Okay, it's kind of like parenting. Uh, Nobody's going to be able to tell you how to parent besides you. You're the parent. Nobody's going to be able to tell you how to survive your life. It's your life. Yeah, you can pick up things like, buy a quality tourniquet. Yeah, okay, that's really, really good advice. Don't drink stagnant water. Yeah, that's a pretty good rule to learn. But if somebody comes out and says boiling is the only way to make water safe, no, there's other ways to do it. The thing is, though, is which way are you comfortable? Which way have you tried? Which way have you tried and you're comfortable, and you can continually do it? That's what a lot of this is about. Just because somebody does it. I was talking with Nicole from Living Free with Tennessee. If you try something, say you want to try canning, you go outside, you grow some food, you bring it inside, and you're like, whoa, I bought all this canning thing, and one, I'm not really good at it, and two, I hate doing it. It's time consuming, and I don't enjoy it, and all this. It's okay. You don't have to. You have the knowledge, you got the basic understanding of it. If you can do it if you absolutely have to. Find somebody that loves the can and go, hey, I actually like to grow the food. So I tell you what, if I grow the food and bring it to you and you can it, then I'll give you all my canning supplies and you give me, whatever. Work out the ratio. I mean, that's what networking is all about. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to cook and clean and sew and do the medical and do the teaching and do the hunting and the fishing and the gathering you don't have to do that. You should have a basic knowledge of it, but you should be able to network and let the other people that enjoy that. Somebody loves to fish, let them fish. You go do what you enjoy, and then you guys come back together and network as a community, and there you go. But if we go back into a false sense of security, you need to be honest with yourself that one, you can't do everything. Okay. That is a fatal, fatal mistake. That's why lone wolfing is such a bad idea. Okay. Now, when you are going to be honest with yourself, you need to also make sure that you're not trying to impress anybody. Your life may come down and depend on your skill. And if you are lying to yourself or you're lying to others, you may end up paying the ultimate price on it. So when you're in some sort of a class and they're trying to teach you how to properly put on a tourniquet, pay attention, ask questions, make sure that you understand it, and then practice over and over and over again. You still don't understand? Go take another class. Nobody's going to make fun of you. You are trying to better yourself. Whoever makes fun of you for trying to better yourself by asking questions or taking the same class again or anything along those lines, those aren't people you want to associate with. Ugly truth. Okay. Now, the next thing is you need to make sure that just because you have a room full of gear and supplies and food and water and this and that and everything else does not guarantee a thing. Okay. You need to make sure that you understand that it's going to be a struggle every single day. And let me reiterate that just one more time. Okay. All the preps that you have, all the time, the effort, the money, everything does not guarantee you one damn thing. You've got to go out there and you've got to earn it every single day. You got to continually go out there and humble yourself and put the effort in from the time you open your eyeballs to the time you close your eyeballs. You've got to continue to do it. Because if you really want to get down to it and you really want to be honest with yourself, it's going to be the little things that take a lot of people out. You're going to get a splinter, it's going to be infected. You are one blister away from getting an infection. You get that little pimple right here on your face that you kind of scratch at or you try and squeeze, that gets infected, you're one of those away from a very bad day. You're running through your house without your shoes on, you break your toe, bad day. There's a lot of these little tiny things that I don't think people quite understand. We take for granted what it is today, but we're not in that SHTF situation right now. And you need to be honest with yourself on all this. And it's things that are completely out of your control. You ever wake up with a toothache? Yeah, it sucks. But you can go to the dentist. You can do things. You can go to the store and you can buy some little numbing cream. You can do different things to help alleviate until you get the problem fixed. And then you can get the problem fixed permanently and you don't have to worry about it anymore. What are you going to do when SHTF happens? You're going to be there in agony every single day? What about an earache? What about some sort of like an eye infection? What happens if you get something in your eye and you can't get it out? What happens if you need to wash your eye and you don't have any clean water because you're only doing a gallon a day and you've only got a couple gallons left? Are you going to start dumping a gallon of water in your eye in hopes of getting it out? How are you going to get more water? There's a lot of these things. People don't quite understand, especially things. Let's take it like the weather. We're in the middle right now of winter. I think, at least from the time of me recording this, when I wake up in the morning, we're supposed to have something of like 2 to 4 inches of snow. There's nothing on the ground right now. Well, if I have no news, no internet, nothing like that, how am I supposed to know that tonight I look outside and it's all clear? That in the morning I'm going to have 4 inches of snow. Sometimes if my plan was to go down to the creek and get more water, that changes my whole plan, my whole day. So there's a lot of this that when it comes to the ugly truth, we need to really make sure that we're being honest with ourselves about a lot of things. That goes into way more than probably what a lot of people don't want to talk about. Humans are humans, and whether it is the enjoyment of being in a relationship or a marriage to a crime of opportunity, sex happens. If you want to be honest with yourself, you're not going to run down to the convenience store to grab a condom. You're one STD away from, how are you even going to know you have one? I mean, there's a ton of that, especially for ladies. You want to go through and deliver a baby by yourself, go through, the whole 9 months of pregnancy during SHTF. You don't get an ultrasound. You don't have a doctor that lets you know that everything's okay. What happens if, you're by yourself and you're just trying to make it through? Somebody comes in, forcefully does what they're going to do, runs out. Now you're by yourself. You want to deliver a baby by yourself while chaos and anarchy is going on? I mean, there's a lot of things that can go on. I mean, it doesn't exclude the men. Look at everything that goes on nowadays. It's not going to be about some man runs up to a woman. Man can run up to a man. Actually, in this day and age, a woman can run up to a man in force. There's a lot of things that can happen, and the way that there's all this stuff that's being passed around, you don't know what type of person that's coming after you. You may wake up and be itchy one day down there that you was not planning on. Here's the thing on that. When I go through and I talk and I go, hey, maybe you should get some Narcan, and people are like, well, I don't do drugs. I don't need that. What happens if somebody comes along and they do, and now you're exposed? You chose not to get Narcan because you don't do it, but you may be exposed. So how many people out there prep something for the itchy down there? Why I don't do that. My spouse doesn't. They're clean. They're good. Okay. What happens if you're ever exposed to it? You have nothing for it. You're not prepped for it. You know. Well, I'm married. We're older. We don't need condoms or any sort of anything. That's great. Um, they, even if you never ever have to, they're probably going to be a decent barter item. They're small. They're inexpensive. They're lightweight. Um, Telling you, might be one of the things that might be a good barter item. Not to mention, there's a lot of different prepping things that you can do with a condom. We could probably do a whole episode on that. Same with like tampons and things like that. It's going to be another one right there if you want to talk about ugly truths. Even if you're a single man, to have feminine hygiene products would be probably a good idea. But it goes back into the same thing. Women, are you prepared for all the different feminine things that you're going to need during an SHTF? I mean, there's a lot of different things that a lot of women need to go through it. It's the same thing for men. If you are a man and you're prepping and your girlfriend, wife, fiance, whatever, isn't into prepping right now, are you prepping for her? Are you going out and buying these extra tampons, pads, things like that in preparation for her? Are you being that considerate? Are you thinking ahead? Are you trying to be prepared for everybody? You have a daughter that's 8. Are you prepared for her? She's not that old yet, but she's going to be. What happens if you accept somebody in? The big event happens. You don't have anybody. You're, 65 years old, and you and your spouse are retired, and the whole family lives on the other side of the country and all that. Okay, well, what happens if your neighbors come over and you let them in and they bring their child or their grandchild? You have stuff prepared for that? Because I'm guessing a lot of people don't. There's a lot that goes into these ugly truths. And I want to always try and keep these as short videos. And I see I'm already coming up on 20 minutes. And I feel like I've only been talking for like 2. So I apologize. We'll probably end up doing a third and a fourth, depending on what you guys leave me in the comments. If you guys hate this, I take criticism well. Leave in the comments and say, hey, this was okay, but don't do anymore. I'm okay with that. I want to put out the content that you guys want. Okay. The reason why I put out the other one is because I just had this calling. I had something instilled in me that this stuff needed to be said. Nobody else was really talking about it. I might as well be the one. I'm okay with that. But if you guys don't want to watch this stuff, let me know. You're not going to hurt my feelings, trust me. But I want to get you guys to think. That's really a good chunk of why I made this channel. I want to provide some sort of, what do I want to say? I want to provide a way for you guys to learn on a very kind of like a beginner style. There's so many people that's new to preparing, and I want to make sure that they have an outlet to go. They have somewhere they can go, that one, they can reach out to me and I can respond to them. Two, I want to make sure that it's an environment to where they don't feel stupid, that they can come in and they can ask a legitimate, sincere question, and the community that we are building together, okay? Because you guys that watch this, you're as much a part of this as I am. And there's people that will come into the live stream chats and ask a question, and there's 5 or 6 of you that's answering the question. You guys are just right in there. Over on Facebook, you guys are going through and helping each other, and that's what I want. It's the whole purpose of this. This isn't all about me. I'm just the face of this. I'm just the big bearded, funny looking guy that also talks funny. I'm just the face of it. Okay, you guys are just as much of a part of this. You guys are just as important to this channel. Okay, and I want you guys to understand that, and I appreciate you for that. Um, and so, I want you, if you guys see something in the comments on Facebook or over here on YouTube, by all means, you can answer the question. I completely endorse it and I encourage it. But again, I want to provide an inspiration. I want to be the one that brings you something and hopefully inspires you to try something. There's been a few of you that have watched some of these videos and you're like, wow, I've never had anybody explain it to me like that. I want to give it a try. Great. That's kind of the whole point of this. But I've also want to make sure that I do it in a way that I'm not going to lie to you either. Okay. If you come to me and you're like, I watched this TikTok and it says that you take 5 ounces of water and pour a gallon of bleach in there and then you drink it, it's safe. No, don't do that. Okay. I will be honest with you guys. I owe that to you. I have a responsibility and a moral obligation to do my best and to give out as the best truth that I possibly can. And so I will continue to do that. If I'm wrong, point it out to me. Okay. I told you I'm good with criticism. Trolls don't really bother me. And actually, if they're on me, they're leaving other people alone. So, and plus it kind of makes me feel a little important that I have a troll. So, might have just jinxed myself, but usually trolls don't watch 23 minutes in. So I'll be okay. All right. Well, that's enough for today. So if you guys like this, again, let me know. If you hate it, let me know. If there's other things that you want me to talk about, topics you want to discuss, content you guys want to see, let me know. But if you made it to this far in the video, I'm going to give you a double one. You guys rock. I appreciate you guys. I love you, each and every one of you. You guys know that. So thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me. And we'll wrap it up. So stay tuned because there's definitely more information to come. Say it with me now. Above everything else, please remember to remain united because we're all prepping in this together.